Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. As you can see, we have a new setup today. Hello, Drizzt. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. We have a new setup today because today we're actually going to be sewing things. Yeah, new area, right? You can see that there's some continuity here. That's where we were over there. And now we're over here in the living room. And in front of me is the couch where I record the PS2 streams. It's like, wow. It's like a one house. The lore. Hello, Skya. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's like in Super Mario 64, where you can see all the levels from everywhere else. It's incredible. But anyway, the goal here today is to, well, I don't know. I don't know how long this takes. This is the hub. This is the hub right here. The only area not that you can't see from here is the booth, which is in a completely different room. But the goal for today is to at least sew like a couple of pieces. I don't know how long this takes because I've never sewn anything together before. But we're going to learn today. We're going to figure it out. So, first of all, what I have to do is... Uh-oh. I didn't make my cord long enough here. You got it. Did you do any research? I did some research. All we pretty much need to do, we don't need to do anything fancy today. All I need to do is straight stitch. That's just a basic, like, one end to the other, just make a straight line and stitch the thing, right? And I was like, is there anything particular that I have to do to make that work? But it seems all I got to do is overlap the pieces, make sure they're aligned, pin them all together, and be very careful not to get them misaligned. That's all I got to do. And then we should be okay. Is this cosplay for an event or just for fun? Well, it is... Wait, hold on. I forgot to turn on my ring light. There we go. It's a little bright this close, but... I am going to be wearing this at an event. Or a couple events. I'm gonna make it last for a couple of events. But, you know, making it for an event and making it for fun, they're not mutually exclusive. So I guess I'll say both on that one. This has been fun to do, especially on stream. It's been a blast. But hopefully this works out. But first of all, I have to actually plug it in. So I'll be right back. All right. Richter cosplay's pretty fire. Well, I appreciate that, considering that it hasn't been properly made yet. But we will be optimistic. Okay, so first, I think the first thing that I want to do is the glove. So, this is the first piece that we made on stream. We made the glove template and we made the glove template and traced it out the first time on the first stream. And I've had it sitting here since. It's already all pinned up and everything. Although, I don't know if I need to... No. Wait. Like, what am I going to do with the excess once I sew it all together? Because the instructions say to sew it together along the lines. So, let me see. I have a guide that I've been following. Oh, and let me put on the music. I have some music lined up. Some Castlevania tunes, as always. Why homemade? Have I considered outsourcing? I'm making it homemade because, you know, it's more personable that way, and it gives me some sewing practice. That's basically it. I wanted to see if I could, you know. Okay, hold on. Let me close some pages here. Glove. Okay, let's see. So insert the fabric. Sew along the lines. And then you cut out the excess. Hem the opening. And you turn it inside out. Okay. We'll take it one at a time. So, sewing along the lines. That sounds easy enough. So, everything is threaded up and ready to go. Everything is properly adjusted. I just gotta put it underneath. Put the pressure foot down. And then we get to work. So, this is the part where I stall for a few minutes because I'm genuinely nervous. Actually, I think what we want to make this as slow as possible, right? So that I have, because I'm an amateur here, so we want to make this slow. And to do that, you can adjust the stitches per inch. Well, you can't see it from here, but there's a lever here that adjusts stitches per inch. And if we make that higher, then it'll go slower. What is the first event you hope to wear this to? It's, oh, what is it called? It's an anime convention. I think it's just called like Anime Expo, something generic like that. I don't remember. I have it written down. It's sometime in July. So, in order to adjust this, gotta loosen this screw here. Lift this lever. Oh, you can make that really high. Let's do, we'll do 20 stitches per inch. Raise that up. Thankfully, this machine came with the manual. I just don't, like, inexplicably know how to do all of this. I did read the manual. Ow. Oh, I made that really sharp. There we go. You have plenty of time. Yeah, I got time. I got time. If I mess it up, I have all the templates. I don't have infinite fabric, but, you know. Alright. You know what? I think it might make more sense if I put my light closer to here, right? I mean, well, it doesn't, it's not, no, you know what? I'll keep it over here. This machine comes with a light bulb area, but the bulb is not in there, and there's no way I'll find a bulb for a machine this old. This machine is from 1951. Have all the time to pick Simon instead. Hey, I don't want any Richter hate in this chat. Recently started embroidering. It's a lot of fun. Wasn't able to sew. Embroidering is the that's with the that's with the like the circles, right? And you put the pins in like the circle canvas thing. Is that different from sewing, or is that like significantly different from sewing? I wouldn't know. I've never done embroidering. Just have thread and needle. You go through the fabric. Oh, I've seen some. A friend of mine does embroidering, and it looks like a pretty neat skill to have. Where did I get it? Embroidering is just creating a design with thread. It's not actually connecting anything. Oh, I see. And I got this machine Drizzt from my dad. He inherited it from his mother. So it's been in the family for a while. He used to use it to make stuff for me and my brother at Christmas. But now it's mine. Okay, enough stalling. If I put a light amount of pressure. All you have to do is guide it. I'm gonna take it slow here. And I won't be able to read chat right now, of course, because I need to focus a little bit. Now, the speed at which the machine goes is dependent on how hard you're pressing down on the pedal. There's a foot pedal underneath the table that that you press down in order to make it go. Okay, need to make a sharp turn here. Now, I think we have a margin of error here because I'm going to be cutting the fingers off anyway, because Richter wears a fingerless glove. But I think we made that turn pretty solid. Alright, I need to slow down a little bit. Speed up on the straightaways, slow down on the turns. Actually, can I just like stop? Yeah, I can stop and look up for a sec. Source crazy. The generational sewing machine, careful. Honestly, I'm surprised it still has the manual. Yeah, it was really great that this is like it came with everything. It already had everything included. It's a very fortunate scenario. Did I? I think this might be a little thin. That's okay. Yeah, he's got the one glove. He's got a fingerless glove on one hand, and he's got like arm wraps on the other. I thought Michael Jackson was the one with the one glove though, not Madonna. I mean, I guess they could both have one glove. No, Jackson had the sparkly glove, right? That was his thing. I hope I have enough thread too. That's one thing I was concerned with, like doing a higher stitch per inch count, was that I only have so much thread. I feel like I'm making the turns wrong. Uh-oh. I got a little off course there. I'm just a tad bit off base. Okay, I'm just gonna try to turn it on the spot. If you lift the pressure foot, and then... Yeah, you know what? That's a way better way of doing it. Lift the pressure foot first. Oh, you know what? I gotta turn the wheel around. This needs to be up. Every time you lift the pressure foot up and then back down, you need to make sure that this is rotated to its highest point. This lever right here, you use this wheel back here to do that. They both probably did, but yeah, he rocked the sparkly Mickey gloves. I never thought of them as Mickey Mouse gloves before. Imagine if we ran out of thread in the middle of the glove. Alright, we have a big straightaway now. Uh-oh. We have a technical difficulty here. I think a needle got in the way. Uh-oh. We were so close. We were right there. Push that out of the way. Betrayed by the needle. Okay. Let's continue where we left off. What happens if that's not the case? The thing at the top? Oh, you know what? I'm not exactly sure. I just know that that's procedure. It's sort of like returning it. I assume it's sort of like returning it to a neutral state, because that's where it has to be when it starts, you know, so that doesn't get out of sync. That's my guess. Pressure foot down. All right, we're back in action. All right, now that we're done. Oh, what was that? Ah, it's hot. What the heck? It's like, it's either hot or it like shocked me. That was really strange. This wasn't moving, was it? Or this thing wasn't moving. That was weird. Well, I also had a cut right there where I felt it. I've had this cut on my finger since this morning. I might have been pressing on that. Ow! Yeah, that's what it was. This isn't hot. There's just like a little. There's a little. I don't know if you can see that. No. Well, there. Yeah. See, there's a little cut on my finger there. I was pressing that against the foot lever. It felt like it was hot. That. And then what you want to do is normally, it's gonna get super tetanus. No, it's fine. I'm good. I'm good. It's not like it wasn't bleeding or anything. I don't know where it came from. So normally the machine has a plate right here. And it's a plate that you're intended to be able to remove and put back so that you can get to the mechanisms underneath. And I didn't have one. That's the only piece that my machine did not come with. So I fashioned just a square out of cardboard that I had lying around and duct taped it to the machine, which works just fine. The only problem is that plate also usually comes with a little slot or like a tooth sort of thing, where you, after you finish sewing, you cut the excess thread off. I don't have the plate, which means I don't have the little tooth thingamabobber. So I'm just gonna detach it from the machine with scissors. As you can see, there's some excess thread. Well, I keep saying as you can see, there's some excess thread here. You want to start sewing with some excess thread already out. And I'm going to cut off the excess from here as well. And there we go. That is sewn. Now, you can't really see it because I use black thread. And you may not know it from looking at it, but there's actually 2 spools in a sewing machine. There's the top spool right here, and then there's the bobbin underneath the machine. So you could theoretically have two colors of thread if you wanted. If you wanted to get all artistic like that, but I opted for just black on black. It looks good. Thank you. It's a little off from the outline that I intended. I definitely should have adopted the stop, turn, put the pressure foot back down technique. But hopefully it'll work for our purposes. So, what is the next step? So, all right. So we're gonna take out the pins. Hold on. I need to get some pins. I have a whole like little battle station set up here. Get my pin box, put these back, and then we're going to cut off the excess fabric. That was exciting, chat. I've never sewn anything before. This is the first thing I've ever sewn. This is a monumental moment. Well, for me anyway. You might see some pinholes in the glove, but that's okay. It's not really that bad. It's not that hard. You just need to, you need to be very careful with the turns. It doesn't turn very fast. Yeah, it went well. It went well, generally. I decided to do the glove first, partly because it would be sort of like our guinea pig. If we messed up on the glove, it wouldn't be too bad, you know. So we need 1/4 inch away. Sharp pair to cut around the outside of the stitches and remove excess fabric. Cut about 1/4 inch from the stitches and across the line at the bottom of the glove. Okay. So I'm just gonna do this by eye. Well, actually, hold on. What is 1/4? What does 1/4 inches look like? Oh, fun fact. My folks came by here earlier today, and they dropped off some proper tailor's tape. So I don't have to use that janky hard measuring tape. I actually have flexible, like, wrap-around measuring tape now. So that's pretty nice. And I don't know if you can notice. I don't think you can. The resolution on the camera isn't good enough, but they left a little message on that piece of cardboard back there. It says you've been Twitch bombed by your parents. I thought that was fun. I noticed it before the stream started, but I figure I'd just keep it up there. Those guys are awesome. I love my folks. How do I... I should have paid more attention to how this was. Okay, the point is, we love them too. They're hard to hate. They're very hard to hate. 1, 2, 3, 4. What about this part might be harder than actually sewing. How did I mess this up? How do I put this back? Whatever. That's neither here nor there. That's an issue for future me to figure out. Now, if nothing else, I think it's better to be farther away, or more far than I have to be, than closer than I should be. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give it a wide berth. Oops. Two. Favorite OST? Do you mean in terms of Castlevania or in terms of any game? Because Castlevania, the only one that I could say is Symphony of the Night. That's the only one I've played. But if we're considering everything, it's very hard. It would be a toss-up in general. Okay, it'd be a toss-up between Ratchet and Clank 3 and Kingdom Hearts 2. I think those two games have the best soundtracks of any game I've ever played. Both of those composers, masterful. Yoko Shimomura is the GOAT, and David Berjode is also the GOAT. They're both the greatest, and I can't really choose between them. I guess right now I've been listening to a lot more Kingdom Hearts music than Ratchet music, so I guess for now I'd have to say that Kingdom Hearts 2 has the best OST. Or has my favorite OST, I should say. I don't know if anybody else in chat knows of the brilliance of Yoko Shimomura, who is the composer of Kingdom Hearts 2. But if you don't, you're in for something. You're in for something fresh. You better hope that you like violins, because she sure does. A lot. She's most known for Kingdom Hearts, but she is also the composer of Street Fighter 2, the original one. She did the music for the, what was it? The Mario and Luigi RPG games. What else did she do? I'm trying to think. I don't think she does Final Fantasy. But her most significant, or her most noteworthy, I'd say, is Kingdom Hearts. She also has a lot of remixes in Smash Brothers. if you're familiar with the Smash Brothers Ultimate soundtrack. Her name comes up a lot. She did the Tetris remix for Smash Brothers that first appeared in Brawl. Man, that song slaps. And if you're familiar with Kingdom Hearts music, then you would be like, wow, this fits perfectly into Kingdom Hearts. She did the Treasure Trove Cove remix, the Banjo-Kazooie song, Treasure Trove Cove. She did the remix for that. Those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Unfortunately, David Bergode, the composer for Ratchet and Clank, up until like actually, I think he still composes Ratchet and Clank music, but Ratchet and Clank was sort of like a one-off. He's never, as far as I can tell, he hasn't composed for any other video game franchise except for Ratchet and Clank. Well, I think he did. What was it, Disruptor? Like Insomniac's first game, like their Doom clone. But other than that, he's mainly like a film composer. Which is odd because his Ratchet and Clank music, at least in the PS2 titles, is immaculate. Are you listening to it right now? The Kingdom Hearts? Kingdom Hearts or Ratchet and Clank? I mean, they would both apply. They're both incredible for different reasons. I think both of those soundtracks contributed very heavily to my own musical tastes and like my own compositional style. Well, okay, maybe not like I sound like them, but like it's kind of like what I strive to achieve with my own music. I do like the most notable song from Kingdom Hearts. Are you talking about Simple and Clean? Because Yoko didn't write those. That was Utada Hikaru. Utada Hikaru. She's a Japanese pop singer, actually. She didn't do those. Okay. So we cut around the edges, and now it says to hem the glove. So fold over 1/2 of the fabric at the glove's opening, so that the wrong sides of the fabric are together. Then, wait, what? Then sew a straight stitch about 1/4 from the folded edge, going all the way around the end of the glove. Get back to the beginning. If you're making fingerless gloves, hem the ends of the fingers and thumb as well. Huh. Fold over 1/2 the fabric. How do I do that? Oh, like that. Does this glove look a little thin to anybody else? I guess it is stretchy. Well, let's give it a try. How do I... Okay, here's a question. How do I sew this? How do I sew this to this without sewing the glove shut? How am I supposed to do that? I'm a little confused on that front. Well, you know what? How about we try it on without hemming it first? Because right after hemming it, it says to turn the glove right side out and try it on. Oh no. Where'd our glove go? Okay. Don't panic, chat. It's in here somewhere. Ever turn a glove inside out before? It's not as easy as it looks. Where are you? Come back to us. That didn't work. I can see the fingers. They're trying to escape. Come on. Show yourself. This might be a little tight. You're so young. You never had the chance to be born. Come on now. Is the sewing really just that janky? Okay. Let me try to just... The easiest way to get this out is to put it on, right? Oh my gosh, it's tight. Oh no. This is a tight glove. Okay. Do I have a dowel? Let me try putting a dowel through it. Fits like a glove. It's going to be very form-fitting. Okay. There's our thumb for context. For context? For comparison. For comparison's sake. Okay, look, for my first time sewing a glove, I don't think this is too bad. I think I put it way too close. Thankfully, we don't need the fingers. We don't... This is our index finger. Look at that. There's no way. There's no way I'm getting my finger in there. Oh no. Come on. I can't cut the fingers off until the fingers are out. It's so pointy. What has become of that finger? Look, we learned some lessons. Alright, make it bigger than you think it has to be. Because this will happen. Actually, can we just return back to inside out? To pull this, now I have to pull this back out. We spent all that time. See, this is what we like to call learning. This is a good glove to start on though, since you're cutting the tops off. Yeah. Yeah. We got to learn from our mistake and then not have to suffer the consequences. That's what you want. We had our cake and ate it too. Okay. I can feel it in there. How many innuendos do you think I've accidentally made already? I don't think I've realized it till now. Hope nobody's been keeping count. TOS, TOS. So here's the thing. Like this, it probably fits okay. The... Okay. Perhaps not. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I've created a trap. Ugh. The wrist is too thin. I can't get my hand through the wrist because I made the wrist the size of my wrist, which is smaller than the rest of my hand. Yeah, definitely not bad. Not bad for a first try. But we learned some valuable intel for the next time. I still want to salvage this glove though. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the fingers. Say goodbye to the glove, everybody. His fingers are coming off. The fabric does have stretch. Like, it's got some stretch to it. It's like pleather. You know, it can stretch, but it's just like, it's such a tight fit. And it doesn't help that it's leather inside. It's pleather inside. So like it doesn't slide in. This is ultra scuffed. Like, look. I'm gonna try to... Where's the index finger? I don't even remember which one's the index finger. Yeah, this had no shot. This had no chance of ever working. Well, now we have fingerless. Theoretically, how about that? The thumb hole's a little big, but that's not bad. I like that. Okay, so now we turn it inside out so that the leather is facing out. All right, let's hope this works. If I turn it inside out when it's on my hand, all right, now let's put it on, because this is what's really gonna matter here. Whew. Barely. That barely goes through. That is actually completely form-fitting. Yeah, there's no shot that I hem these. There's no way I'll be able to do that, but that's a glove. That's a fingerless glove. High five, chat. We did it. How did you do that? Oh, I was like, how'd you highlight your message? I think I have it set to highlight anything that has my name in it. I've never seen that before. Fingers have been snipped. If you type your name, yeah, if you type your name, it highlights. Now here's the issue. There's a couple of problems. One, I mean, look, it's like hugging it. I need to take the glove off. There's no easy way to do that. The easiest way would be to it's stuck on me forever. I'm thinking if I cut on the sides, it would make the hole a little bigger. It would fit better. I'm a little afraid to do that. It would tear easier. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Jeez Louise. Is it easier to turn it inside out now that it has no fingers? Yeah. Okay. So I can edit it. I can alter it in the right side out state. Let me turn my sewing machine off for safety. You should always unplug it when you're not using it. I need to make some sort of adjustment, because if I don't, and I'm wearing this for an extended period, it's gonna like start cutting off my finger circulation. So I'm going to give it a little bit of snippage. I didn't expect to be spending this much time on the glove. I guess it is a pretty complex piece, not like in hindsight, with all the fingers and everything. No, I'm sorry, fingers. The thumb is fine. The index finger is fine. It's these up here. I'm gonna... a little on both. On both sides. Just a small amount of snipping. There, you get that side? I just did that. Okay. I'm losing my place. That. Here. I don't even know what's happening here with the pinky. Okay. Whew. Let's try her again. So there's the thumb, I think. It's hard to tell. I think I'm gonna cut the bottom of this a little bit too for the same reasons. It's easier to put on. Okay. Yeah, this is still the fingerless glove. I'm trying to make some adjustments to it, make it easier to wear. I think that'll work. How does it feel holding the thing? This is Richter's whip hand, I think. I need to be able to, you know, hold it. Here it is. I think that works. I think that'll do. It's not constricting my finger anymore, so I don't need to make any more adjustments. And hopefully that'll hold. Oh, hopefully that'll hold. Oh! I keep forgetting that I'm attached to my computer. Alright, I'm gonna take this off now. Thank you, guide. You've been very helpful. Huh? They got disconnected? It should be fine now. Were you in audio horror land for a second? Everything should now be A-okay. Cool. All right. Next up, what should we do next? We have the. Well, let me check. Well, I guess I can't just easily check how much thread I have left, can I? Oops. Cripe. Okay, well, we have enough thread. Need to reinstall my bobbin right quick. There we go. Not to worry. I can easily rethread that. It was louder, but not bad. Oh, okay. And then if you... So, you can see, whenever you replace your bobbin, what you gotta do. There's supposed to be 2 pieces of thread out here. And if you want to get both of them out, you just turn the wheel towards you one time. And boom. It pulls up the bobbin thread from below automatically. Then you just place both threads underneath the pressure foot, parallel to each other, and then you're ready to go. We still got thread to work with, so we should be fine for now. I do have a bunch of extra bobbins, though, in a variety of colors. Start by placing the front and back right sides together and stitching at the shoulders. Alright, well. Extra what? Extra bobbins. Okay. Bobbin these nuts up and down. We're just gonna go with the guide here. So, it wants us to sew the shoulders together first. So let me get my pieces. I'm gonna actually give myself some extended room here. I have my headphones coiled up so that they wouldn't get tangled. The last thing you want when you're sewing is like dangling pieces around, you know? So here are our backs and fronts. Streamer. He basically has to answer you cornered him. It's hard out here. It's a hard life. I have no choice but to talk to my chat. There's literally nothing else I can do. Okay, this is the front. I want to use a darker blue. The darker side of the blue. This should be the other half of the front. What's the difference? Well, wait, is there a difference? Yeah, there is. Goes like that. And then those are sleeves. We don't need those yet. Got it. And I should ban Drizzt? You do make a compelling case. I mean, with an argument like that, I can't really, it's hard to argue. Wait, okay, now I'm confused. Which side is the right color? In the world? Am I playing myself here? No, these are sleeves. These are sleeves over here. Huh. Weird. Oh. See, that's why I rounded this up, so I wouldn't do something stupid like that. Whew. Okay. Should have marked it. Yeah, well, the thing is, I had the forethought to mark the patterns, but I didn't have the forethought to mark the pieces. Because I was like, well, if I mark the pieces, it's going to show up. Also, welcome to the chat, Wolf. Happy to see you here. Are those the same? I have to look at it from a distance. No, it's like this. It's like this. And then this be the back. Okay. What the heck? When I look at it from a different angle, I see them as different colors. Let me examine something right quick. because I messed up the first time. It's a nice color. I know, right? It's a very nice shade of blue. Would also help if your lighting was better. I mean, I'm giving myself the best shot that I can in here. I recently replaced all the light bulbs in my ceiling fan. It's had an effect, but you know, it can only go so far. I didn't throw it away, did I? Okay, so here's the deal. I messed up the first time on one of these pieces, and I used that messed up one, and I put the other one away. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I might have accidentally put the wrong one in the scrap box. Looks like periwinkle on screen. This is a. It does look more green. It looks more green on stream than it does IRL. It's a blue. You know, because you know Richter's blue. Well, Richter's not blue. His outfit is blue, but you know what I mean. I'm analyzing the threads. They look different depending on what side it's on. Blue Man Group Enjoyer. You know they're still doing stuff? It's kind of crazy that Blue Man Group is still doing stuff. You know what it is? They're probably not even different colors on each side. It's just that the way that the thread is makes them look different. So I'm gonna go by that. So that one is in the scrap pile. This is a disaster. I've ruined Twitch. Okay, that's the strat. The thing is, which one looks better? I think this is the one I'm using. Okay. We figured it out. We solved the puzzle. Is the music still playing? It is. This has been an adventure. I'll say that. This has been an adventure. There we go. That's how we want it to look. Okay. I need to put this back. Open my chest of wonders down here. Ugh. If you have a water-soluble marker, you could write on it so there isn't a mix-up again. I have that chalk marker, and I have a couple of Sharpies. The thing is, though, there won't be a mix-up now because we're going to be sewing it together now, so I won't be confused after that. You know what I mean? I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. I put the back piece in the box instead of the scrap. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I won't get mixed up again. Instantly gets mixed up again. Okay. Definitely don't use a Sharpie in the future though. It has to be a fabric marker or it won't wash off. Yeah. I mean, the Sharpie I used ended up being so faint on the fabric that even if there is still some left on here, you wouldn't be able to see it. So I want it like this. Why am I standing up? Okay, well, I actually should have put the back piece on first. I'm going to be very careful not to change the orientation of these. Put them over here. I need a haircut so bad. I finally scheduled one for next Tuesday. It cannot come fast enough. Just doing a double, triple, super duper double check. You also need a haircut? I believe you. It's just one of those things that, like, you put off because you're like, well, I can deal with it for another week. Why do I have to go get a haircut now? I can wait another week. And then you wait, you know, another week. And then that week becomes 2 weeks. And then 3. You know? And it's like, man, I have a mop on my head. And then suddenly, you can't deal with it anymore. At least that's my experience. And yeah, that and like 20-ish bucks to cut my hair deters me, but I'm cheap. I'm also quite cheap. I've not bought a new piece of clothing. Period, I guess. I don't remember the last time I bought a new piece of clothing. Well, I bought like acting stuff, like when I started at the haunted house, I had to buy some, you know, like dress blacks, but never any casual clothing. I've been using the same casual clothing for years. Any new clothes I get is a gift or is obtained at the thrift store. The haunted house? Yeah, so I was approached by the casting director about this next season coming up about a week ago, I think. And I think I will, as long as I can figure out a sleeping situation. Because the thing is, the haunted house is an hour away or about like an hour and a half away. Which isn't bad, you know. I make drives like that all the time. But the thing is, I have to make that drive at like 12 to 1 o'clock at night after I've done 6 hours of exhausting haunting. And last season, that, like, it was rough. I couldn't stay awake. You know, I almost ran myself off the road multiple times. So this season, I'm only doing it if I can find a sleeping situation. Like if I can crash at somebody's house after the show, or I've been doing some research about sleeping in or sleeping overnight at like rest stops. Apparently that's legal in Texas. You're allowed to sleep for up to 24 hours in your car in the parking lot of a rest stop or a picnic area. Let's go alternate driving. I went over to help. We were about an hour away. Well, thank you for the offer. But yeah, I'll figure something out. I am leaning towards the just sleeping at a rest stop option, or even like sleeping in like a Walmart parking lot, which is a little bit more dangerous. But there is one close by. There's a picnic area close by, like on the route that I take home. So I think I'll do that. Please be safe. I will be safe. I will come. I will sleep with my self-defense at the ready.
Cut number 1 contains computer data, so please don't play it.
If you know what I'm saying, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. You know, like a crash pad would be ideal, obviously, so I wouldn't have to take that risk in the first place. But nobody's responded to my request yet in the haunted house group chat. So still waiting for a response there. I appreciate your concern for my safety. Okay. There we go. So pin that in place. This is the tedious part, having to pin this in place. But, you know, it's necessary. So I finished watching Impractical Jokers. I finally got through all of the seasons. The current seasons, anyway. It's still happening. I was a little sad, because that show's epic, and I wanted to keep watching it. But, you know, everything good comes to an end. So I was looking for other shows that are, like, similar. Ugh. And I started watching a program called the Carbonaro Effect. If you ever heard of that. It's like a hidden camera. You can't even see me. Have I been off screen this whole time? It's like a hidden camera show where this guy named Michael Carbonaro is a magician. And he basically just messes with people live on camera. Like, he performs magic tricks, but under the guise that, you know, he's just doing normal everyday stuff. Is this right? Yeah. it's hard to tell when it's... There we go. Oh, it's fallen to the floor. See, that's why we put a pin in it. Love both of those. You've heard of it? It's pretty fun so far. I've only seen like the first couple of episodes, but it sort of scratches that similar itch. Gosh. This is getting on my nerves. I'm sorry, chat. Okay. I'm going to lift this up onto the table like I did last time. Bunch it up here so it doesn't slip away. What time is it? We may just end up using the rest of this time to pin this. Whew, okay. Should I adjust the camera a little bit? Let's adjust the camera. Like that. That makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it? People like angles, people like levels, and people like groupings of 3. That's what I was always taught. Yeah, this cut, this one ended up a little janky. This one has some jank going on. We'll just have to deal. We'll just have to deal. Very unfortunate. But nothing is perfect. I swear, if I go to this convention and there's another Richter there and they just completely blow me out of the water, I'm gonna be a little upset. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be a little jealous. Like, what are the odds that somebody decided to cosplay as Richter? And then what are the odds that somebody decides to also cosplay as Richter at the same time? At an anime convention. People are too busy with their Genshin impacts and their demon slayers to do Richter, hopefully. That's all I ever saw at the other convention I was at. Genshin Impact and Demon Slayer. You either had like a halo over your head or bamboo in your mouth. All Alright, jeez. Alright, we're finally ready here, I think. The odds are forever in your favor. Thank you. May they be. May they be. Now, did I line that up right? Yeah, just about. Just about. Alright. Fold this over to sort of lock it in. And now's the moment of truth. Now we can actually sew this together. That is hard material to sew. I did not know that. I wish you didn't say that. Because now I'm a little bit more worried than I was before. But that's okay. We'll deal. We'll deal. I was under the impression that this was just sort of like typical fabric. Oh, I need to plug this back in. The machine is live just because it's slick. Yeah. It's nice and slick. Very, very not friendly to work with. Alright, put this underneath, I guess, just about a quarter inch away seems to be the magic number. Yep, that's about right. Let us begin. Or, nope, press your foot down. A little closer. Now press your foot down. Oh, adjust the headset. Bring that up. This up. Here we go. That is the first one down. Careful, SpongeBob. Watch where I put my fingers? Yes, thank you. I'm being very careful. I may not look it, but this is what peak carefulness looks like. Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. All that preparation just to do like 5 seconds of sewing. I find that very funny. This is about right. Ooh, I got my finger again. How do I keep hitting that one very particular spot on my finger? It's very, very interesting. Move these scissors out of the way, and here we go again. There we go. It went off without a hitch, I think. Now we remove the pins and admire our handiwork. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I removed these. I was thinking about what the next step is. The next step is to sew on the sleeves. Step 1 done. Of the robe, anyway. Now, just a reminder, we don't actually need the sleeves. But what I want to do is sew them on anyway. Hold. We have a dropped pin. We have a dropped pin, everybody. Remain calm. I am barefoot. Okay. We found it. We found it. Crisis averted, everybody. Yeah, that was almost bad. Moments like that, you wish you had a magnet or something. I don't even know if those are magnetic, though. Alright, that's the first step. I'm kind of curious if I could just drape this over myself at its current state. I hope it doesn't ask me to turn this inside out at some point. You know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. You know what? Magnet fishing stream? Maybe not. But you know what I realized? I did sew it inside out. I sewed it the wrong way. That is, if I wanted this color to be on the outside. Or this side to be on the outside. Well, that's fine. As long as it's the same on both sides, it doesn't really matter which one we use. Okay, what's next? Sleeves, right? Center the sleeves over the shoulder seams, right sides together. Double check your measuring here to make sure you don't sew your sleeves on sideways. Stitch. Thank you for the reminder. Instruction booklet. So I guess that means if this is the inside, we want to do something like this. Flatten that out. And then let's get our sleeves. Here's our sleeves. Sleeves on the shoulders. Right sides together. Is it? This would be, that's the length of the robe, right? Because it's a robe pattern. So we want the short end to be sewn on. That makes sense to me. Also, I just read the instructions, and it said that there's a half seam allowance for this. And I used a quarter. So it'll fit bigger than intended, I think, is what that means. Make sure I'm using same side. Yep. Would it be easier if I just did this? Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me fine if I do this? Because it'd be much easier to just have it around my neck like this instead of having to adjust it on my head. Slip sliding around all the time. Yes? Yes? Okay, good. This is much easier for me. Oh, hey, you know what? I just noticed. Your screenshot. Sound great. Thank you. I just realized. What did I just realize? Where was I going with that? I don't know. Anyway, never mind. That just completely went out the window. How do I pin this? Well, I can put a half inch, right? So oh, that's right. I could do it like this. what I was going to say something, and it seemed important in my head, but I guess it really wasn't that significant. I'll tell you this little story though. I got home today, and well, for context, my neighbor, I have a new neighbor, and she's a gardener, or she's, you know, she has a green thumb. She's been recently renovating her front yard, and it looks very nice, by the way. She's planting like flowers and all that stuff. Well, at the county library in the county that I work at, there's a bowl of seed packets. I'm gonna throw this needle away. It's bent. There was a bowl of seed packets that they were giving out for free. I'm like, you know what? My neighbor might appreciate this. So I grabbed some, and I met her today, because usually she's been busy, but I caught her today when she was outside to give her the seeds. And you know, initially the plan was just to, you know, go over there and give her the seeds and then go back to the house. But we ended up getting in a conversation, and apparently there is some form of wild berry growing in my front yard that I was unaware of. And I don't know what kind it is. It's like, it has this sort of pale green color. I think she said it might be some sort of blackberry or raspberry. Or at least it has that, it's in that like family. It's made up of the little like spheres, you know? I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. She was like, yeah, the elevation here means that a lot of water pools in your backyard, and it goes into my garden. So you're basically watering my garden for me. She's like, is that alright? I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's just, it's free water, you know, no worries. She's very nice. She's a very nice lady. She has a little garden going on in her backyard. She appreciated the, I presented her with a number of seed packets. She ended up taking some lettuce. No, she ended up taking some basil, some cilantro, and some snow peas that I picked up. So she's gonna try to grow those. So you suggested that I should try growing lettuce in my yard, because it's like really easy apparently. So I might attempt that. Garden stream in the future, perhaps? Who knows? That'd be really out there. I have no idea what kind of setup I'd use for that. I guess I could film it from my phone. Stream from my phone for that. But what would you even stream for a garden stream? Just like, hey guys, these are growing in about 6 weeks. Okay, bye. Doesn't seem like something that'd be good for a stream. More like just, you know, like a vlog every now and then. Gardening is super fun. The only downside is the heat. Talk about the facts of what you're growing, like lettuce facts. Hello everybody, welcome to the Jag Cactus gardening stream. Are you ready for some sick lettuce facts? Lettuce fact 1, I love lettuce. That might be fun. We like to experiment here on the Jag Cactus stream. The only issue is where would I put the garden? I guess making the garden itself would be the first thing, right? Form a stream or a tour. A garden tour. Okay, there's some excess hanging off here that I don't need there. Okay, put this other sleeve aside, and let's sew the sleeve on. Actually, prepping a yard for a garden is a lot of work. So I hear. Well, actually, she said that my neighbor that is, she was telling me about lettuce being relatively easy to do. She said that she did it with her kids, and what they did was they took about 5 handfuls of dirt, like made a trench, pulled out about 5 handfuls of dirt, and then with that dirt they sprinkled it back on top of the seeds, like it was salt or pepper, is the way that she described it. But you know, you need to make sure that it has the right, you know, like sunlight, and it's getting enough water. All that jazz. It could be a fun project though. I'd like to learn a new thing. I mean, I learned how to sew, kind of. Maybe I shouldn't get ahead of myself. I haven't learned to sew. I am sewing, though. You know what I mean? Let's not give myself too much credit just yet. Alright. Here we go. Pseudo self-taught. Yeah, I followed the manual. I know how to do the very basics of sewing now. Like, I can say that at least. I know how to thread up a machine. I know how to wind a bobbin. I know how to adjust the machine. At least this specific one. I know how to do a straight stitch. Just the basics. Alright, here we go. Uh-oh. Go in reverse. I think there was a reverse button. I might need to go in reverse. Or... just lift this up. It was getting pretty close to this needle here. I thought that I figured this needle would be an issue. It felt like it was really close. Yes. Let's put it back. And begin again. slow down a little. I'm going a little hard in the paint. Yeah. Can you hear the machine? Is it a pleasant sound for your ears? That's the power of the Singer 1591. Not sponsored, by the way. Imagine if I was sponsored by Singer. That'd be pretty crazy. Just guide it. You're not supposed to like push it along or pull it or anything. You're just supposed to guide it underneath the foot. It's easy to get carried away and start trying to push it. At least in my limited experience. Okay. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. That is sleeve number 1. But unfortunately, I'd be sewing a lot more. I forgot what it is I said that prompted you guys to say that. What did I say? What was I talking about? Isn't that crazy how that happens? It was only like a few seconds ago. What was I talking about? It's like a guessing game. How to use context clues. About sewing, probably. Very funny. Oops. Well, now this is gonna bother me. This is gonna bother me. This happened on stream before, where I said something, I saw the responses, but I wasn't looking when they happened, so now I forgot. Let me just unplug the machine. It'll come to me. It didn't come to me. But you know what? That's the end of the stream. So what has come to me is the end. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to get to the last, or to the second, what am I saying? the second sleeve, but we made a lot of good progress today. Which comment? The you'd probably be sewing a lot more, or the slightly it says slightly. It is lol. Yes, you would be sewing a lot more. I don't know what you guys were talking about. Can't remember either now. Oh well. I mean, we always have the VOD, so. Good progress. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think we made great progress today. For the first time, for my first time actually sewing anything. The comment was referring to your comment about. That's right. Yeah, being sponsored by Singer. That's right. Okay. Thank you. That I can sleep a little bit better at night now, knowing that. But yeah, great progress tonight. This was a great first sewing experience. It's not so bad. I was afraid at first that I was gonna mess it up, but it's really just you gotta take control of the fabric. You know, guide it. Don't try to fight against it. Make those turns. Don't try to actually like turn around 360 while it's in motion. Just take it off, turn it around, and go from there. We learned that you gotta give yourself some space when you're making a glove. But yeah, what's left? What's left? We got the other sleeve, the sash, and the binding, and that's it. Which should be pretty easy. Well, the binding might be tricky. I think the binding is going to be a tricky business. One that cuts on your fingers are misleading. Yeah. I wonder because I was thinking like, does it have something to do with what it's made of? But I'm like, I'm not a werewolf. Why would silver plating like burn my finger? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But we will finish all that next week. Because my schedule is a little weird. I'm not a werewolf. Okay, pal. Well, I prefer the term lycanthrope, personally. So technically, I'm not a werewolf. I'm a lycanthrope, and I would prefer you to refer to me as such from now on. The schedule's a little weird. It's a little different this week than from usual. I will not be streaming on Thursday or Friday because I'll be out of town. Fancy term for furry. All right, Trizit. Okay, not all werewolves are furries. That's a conversation for another. That's a conversation for another day. Thursday and Friday, I'm not going to be streaming. Next week, I will be streaming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday again, like I did this week. But that will all be Jack 3. So this week I did sewing. Next week is dedicated Jack 3. And then the week after that is I'm going back to my regular schedule. And that Monday is where we'll be picking this project back up. So it's going to be a while before we come back to this. I don't want to do any of it off stream. I want it to, all be captured here live. So I'll wait for that next week to roll around, and we'll finish this. But tonight, I thank you all for being here. I really appreciate everybody's support, watching and listening, and lurking around. It's very fun to have you guys here. Have fun and be safe out of town. Thank you very much, Skya. Skya, I should say. I appreciate that. I will be as safe as I can manage. Now, before we go, of course, I'm going to check to see who's streaming tonight. Have a good night. Thank you. Don't go quite yet. We're gonna raid a Cyric now. That is because he is streaming right now. So, slash raid a Cyric. He's a friend of mine who is streaming Hollow Knight right now. He actually just, I guess he finished playing Dark Souls tonight. He's playing Hollow Knight. He is presumably near the beginning of the game. So if you are sensitive to Hollow Knight spoilers, if somehow you have not been spoiled on Hollow Knight yet, visit him anyway and close your eyes. But I've been Jack Cactus. Thank you everybody for being here. I hope you have a good night. Hope you have a great Thursday, Friday, and weekend. Because I will see you on Monday. Hope to see you all there. And goodbye.